So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you probably know by now that Wyze will be requiring two-factor authentication, or 2FA for short, on all of their user accounts. In this video, I'm going to tell you what it is, when it will take effect, and how it's going to impact your ability to view, share, and use your Wyze devices in the future. After, I'll show you how easy it is to set up, and then I'll wrap up with some important tips so you don't get locked out of your Wyze account during the switchover or sometime after. First, Wyze has been rapidly increasing their security posture in recent years. They've hired super smart security gurus to help them protect your Wyze devices, software, apps, and cloud infrastructure. But that still leaves you as the weakest link in their security. Are you using the same password you use on every website you visit? Yeah, you know who you are. Same old wife's name, anniversary, kids, pets, or other common phrases that are just too easy for computers to guess nowadays. Computers are also part of the problem. Passwords that used to take years to crack with a single computer can now be broken with cheap cloud computing farms in under a day for just a few bucks. So, what is 2FA? Well, as a software engineer for a couple decades now, I'm pretty familiar with this stuff. There are three common factors in all of computer security: something you are, something you have, and something you know. The something you are includes biometrics like Face ID, fingerprint scanners, and less common things like palm vein and retinal scanning. That's sci-fi stuff. The something you have might be a smartphone, email account, authenticator app, hardware token, or even a voice phone number that can be used to verify your identity. And lastly, the most easily faked or guessed is the something you know, which includes passwords, PIN numbers, and answers to security questions. Remember Sarah Palin's email hack? Well, yeah, that was because somebody guessed she went to Wasilla High, something they knew from her Wikipedia page, and then they reset their password to something they knew. Since the very beginning, Wyze has relied upon just a valid username and password with optional two-factor authentication. This worked for years, but if the same weak password was compromised on one of the major data breaches that are now happening near daily, smart attackers have started to shop your credentials around to major websites and services to see what you may have used them on. So this isn't just a Wyze problem, it's actually a you problem. You're essentially using the same key for your car, your house, and your bank accounts, and your Wyze account. Wyze is, for your benefit, requiring a second factor on all accounts in the next couple of weeks, either with an SMS message code or authenticator application to verify your identity on top of your password. This won't happen every time you open the app, but when you're accessing your account from a new device or browser, you may be required to verify this new information. For people using the web viewer, they're working on a solution for that as well. Ultimately, it's a really good thing Wyze is doing to help protect yourself. Nobody wants their personal home videos making them famous unexpectedly. And with Wyze making inroads into door locks, garage door openers, gun safes, it's really important to protect you and your home that they're doing this. There are already stories of families with cameras in their kids' room hearing strangers talking to them. Relax, many are not true, but that's for a whole nother video. With two-factor authentication, this risk goes down. It's not eliminated, but it's highly less likely. To set up two-factor authentication, open up the Wyze app and hit the account button in the lower right. Tap on security, then tap two-factor authentication. Choose your verification option. I recommend text messages for now, more about that later. My recommendation is to use at least two phone numbers for the verification options. First is the number you'll use most often and you carry with you. The second should be a backup number used in case your first is lost or unavailable. In this case, I used my wife's. You can use any number that you trust and you have access to in a pinch. Now, with just the phone, they won't be able to log into your account. Remember, they need both factors. Now you're done, and your account is more secure. It's not without risk, though. Even if you do remember your password, it is possible to lock yourself out of your account should you change phone numbers, lose your phone, or misconfigure or fail to back up your authenticator app. Wyze won't be able to let you back into your account, and you'll need to set up a completely new account and reset up all your devices if you do get locked out. So why SMS messages? The authenticator apps with their rolling sophisticated code technology, time-based one-time passwords technically, are often more secure and work without having to be online, but they are more difficult to back up and can easily be lost. I've been there myself. If you're a big old nerd and are comfortable with these things, that option is available to you. Eventually, passwords and keys will be going away. Microsoft is even experimenting with completely passwordless accounts. Until then, two-factor authentication is the best defense we have against hackers and unauthorized account access. A couple quick closing thoughts. If you're using a weak, shared, or old password on your email account, just stop. Your email is the most critical thing to keep safe, as people will use that to reset passwords on most other services and for social engineering attacks against your friends. If you don't already have two-factor authentication enabled on your email and social accounts, it's a very good idea to set it up if available. A few minutes of setup time and seconds of inconvenience now and then can be the difference between an embarrassing data leak or costly financial and identity theft. So kudos to Wyze for taking the plunge for all of us. It actually cost them a little bit more to provide this additional layer of security for us, but in the end it makes their products more secure than the others on the market. This has been John, the Net Guy, and hopefully you learned something today. If you're interested in more of this kind of content, I have a weekly live tech show called Tech on Tuesdays that you're invited to. Give me a follow, subscribe, or bookmark, and I'll see you in a future video. In fact, you can watch one of my most recent shows right up here.